Okay, class. One of my favorite stories to tell is something that was kind of funny that happened right before I got married to my wife. You see, I'm originally from the East Coast, and my wife is from the West Coast. And sometimes we use different words to explain the exact same thing, and you'll learn about that later in the story. First part of the story is I was in Saudi Arabia at the time, and my wife, I told my wife to call my dad to let him know. He had a few questions about the wedding, and he wanted to learn a couple things about the West Coast. So the question my dad asked was, he asked my fiance, who's now my wife, he asked her at the time, he says, hey, so how close to the ocean do you live? And my wife kind of looked perplexed. She was like, ocean? Well, I really don't know. So she went and asked her mom. She said, Mom, how close to the ocean do we live? Now, keep in mind, my wife lives in Ventura, California. You know, Ventura that's made famous by all those songs about beaches and swimming and shores and stuff like that. So she went and asked her mom, Mom, how close to the ocean do we live? And her mom said, well, gee, I really don't know how close to the ocean we live. Let me try to find out. So my wife calls my dad back and says, well, I don't really know how close to the ocean we live, but, you know, when you get here, we'll try to find it together. So the wedding comes, I pick my dad up from the airport, and he says, hey, son, you know, I asked your fiance, how close to the ocean do you live? And I said, Dad, she lives right next to the ocean. We go to the ocean a lot. And he was like, because she didn't seem to know, and her mom didn't seem to know either. So we're driving up the coast, and we're on our way to the hotel, and we look out to our left, and sure enough, there's a big giant ocean out there called the Pacific Ocean. And my dad says, oh, and our hotel's right over there. I said, yeah, Dad, so you'll be within walking distance to get to the ocean. So wedding comes around, great ceremony. We go to the reception, and we're singing, dancing, and stuff like that. So my dad waves me and my new wife over, and he says, Stacy, how come you didn't tell me you live so close to the ocean? And she says, well, I really didn't know how close to the ocean we live. And she thought about it. She said, she scratched her head and she said, you know what? Did you mean the beach? And my dad said, well, on the East Coast we call it ocean, but I don't know what you guys call it out here. She says, oh, we call it the beach. So, to summarize, had my dad said, Stacy, how close to the beach do you live? That would have been a question she could have answered right away. Matter of fact, she probably wouldn't even have to go to her mom to figure out what the answer to that question was. She would have known it herself. So, just a little funny story that I tell sometimes. I probably don't tell it enough, but because it is funny how the East Coast, on the East Coast we call it the ocean, on the West Coast they call it the beach. So had my dad changed one little word, I wouldn't even have this funny story to tell you. Bye-bye.